Hey, how's the weather down there?
It was 33 this morning walking the dog.
Yeah, it's cold. It was cold up here too. We had a good frost, good heavy frost. How is it in San Francisco, Jim?
Uh, it's cooling off.
Yeah.
Probably going to be 70 today.
Oh, it's tough when it gets that cold down there. So it's about 36 up here right now.
I'll take 70.
Yeah, I would. Catherine, what's the weather like for you?
It's springtime.
Good.
It has been beautiful this week after weeks and weeks of rain. So I'm just enjoying it.
You're happy. Well,
Yeah.
we sort of have the same thing up here. It's actually quite beautiful today too. Good. All right. I think we should review what we did yesterday and then go ahead and add another move on. With any luck, we should be able to finish the first half of the form by the end of the month, which would keep us technically on schedule. So I had scheduled 3 months for the first half of the form and then another 3 months for the second half of the form. So we would still be on schedule. Um, let's do what we did yesterday. Let me adjust the camera here. Push up and relax back onto the right foot. Cross the arms. Pivot on the left heel and relax. Hit with the hand, the waist, and the foot. Step out. And under the down chin, over the down chin, and then from the center, both hands come down. One about chest high, the other about waist high, with the weight forward on the forward leg. One more. And then with my back to you. Okay, any questions about that move? No? Everybody clear? All right, let's go on to the next move. which is called Shield Body Punch. And I don't know if we'll do the whole thing today, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let me just demonstrate this at first. All right. I'm going to do the move we just did, and then I'm going to do the next move on top of it. Okay, so it's not real long, but there's some tricky things in here you got to do. So remember, it starts with the weight forward. It starts with the weight forward. Sorry. And then you're going to close into the left quad. You're going to close into the red quad. That's a joint lock. You could try it like this, but what really makes it work is you're closing the body and the leg. All right. So you shift your weight starts on the right leg forward, and you shift your weight into the red stripe here, and then down the leg to the foot. And then you circle. And you do it again, only now you're doing it with the back of the wrist showing. So the first time you do, I'm going to do this out of the proper positioning here, so you can see what's happening. All right. You start with the weight forward on the right. Close. Circle. Close again. So you're actually doing the same thing twice, but your left hand in each of those two iterations of this is in a different position. This is called a forward wrist china. This is called a reverse wrist china. This is the power hand. All right. Now that doesn't mean you're using your arm muscles. It means you're closing your whole body, but the hand that's applying that is your right hand. This hand is the fulcrum. This is the lever, this is the fulcrum. When you do this kind of stuff in real life, you don't have time to make adjustments. You just have to go with the structure of your own body and the structure of your opponent's body in the moment. You can't ask them, excuse me, would you mind waiting just a moment while I change my arm position? You don't have time for that. If your hand is already, if the palm is facing your other palm, then you go with that. Boom. But what if this hand is not palm forward, it's forward like this? You're not going to have time to adjust everything around all the time. So you go with what you got. All right? And you use the back of the wrist. Here's forward chin up. All right? Here. This hand has got the elbow. This hand has got the wrist or the hand. Right? You can see this is the fulcrum. It's not moving. This is the lever. It is moving. Now, you add silk reeling in on top of that. They're both twisting. The twist with the right hand is pretty easy to see and to feel in your body. You're turning your Dan Chen down into the red stripe. Well, that just naturally gets the spin going here. Right? This one has a little piece of blue tape on it, right? So you can see this, right? It just naturally spins. I'm not even thinking about doing it. It's just happening because of the structure of my body, all right? So this hand is turning in this direction, right? Meaning you're following your little finger. This hand, however, is going to go in the opposite direction. Now that takes a little more mental awareness of what's going on. Boom. So this in this side, I'm turning the guy's arm. I've done this to Kevin, so he knows what it feels like. You can catch the wrist, you catch the elbow, you can then catch the shoulder, and you twist the whole arm. Whoa, boom, like that. And then you can go all the way down to the Dan Chen and to the bottom of the foot, right? All from the wrist. What does this do? This actually breaks the arm, right? It's moving in the opposite direction. So it's going like this. This one's going this way, this one's going this way. So what's the effect of that is exactly like wringing out a dish rag. All right? This one's going this direction. This one's going this direction. So it's like wringing out a rag, only it's the guy's arm. And if you can catch the bones, it's pretty devastating. Okay, so the first part of this movement is 2 wrist locks. Forward wrist lock, circle, reverse wrist lock. Boom, 1, 2. Very simple. Now, between the two, there's a complete circle around the Dan Chen. So I'm going to stand, instead of this way, I'm going to stand this way so you can see. Watch. All right? I'm going to go down. The circle's going down. And then it continues around. And then it goes down again. So you could say maybe it's a full circle and a half. Something like that. Right? 1. Continue, 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 and 2. Boom. 1, 2. And the area you're working in is kind of this triangle right in here. That's where all the pressure comes in. It's like everything's folding into this. And you use your weight, the weight of your body. And by the way, I don't think I've ever really talked about this in class before, kind of maybe a little sideways. One of the big reasons that you want to learn to truly relax when you do Tai Chi is in order to use your weight. I'll tell you exactly what I mean. We don't really realize it, but when you're interacting with another person, whether you're doing ballroom dancing or whether you're doing some kind of martial art, most of your own weight is being held up by you. That's a form of tension. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a form of tension. But when you need to use your weight to power something, you want to be able to relax your weight into the other guy. So I weigh 260 pounds. All right? Kevin's surprised. Right? I want to be able to put that weight down on that guy's arm, which means I have to be able to relax my weight down onto that guy. If instead I'm still working from the old habit of supporting my own weight, then I can't really use my weight against this guy. All right? So instead, you have to learn to relax, 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 relax. How do you really learn to relax? Because it's a very particular kind of relaxation. It's not just all sloppy relaxation like that. Oh, I'm just going to relax. That's not it. It's the same relaxation that a black panther has when it's walking through the jungle. Right? It's actually very alert and aware, but boy, it's relaxed, right? Well, the way you do it is exactly the way we've talked about in Qigong. You relax your energy body. You relax the sand inside the hourglass. Relax. You still have bones, you still have structure, but you've learned to relax the sand. You relax it down into that other guy. And when you do that, it's really quite overwhelming. So let me tell you, this is a true story. I'll tell you the story that Master Feng used to tell, and then I'll tell my story, because they're exactly the same story. Master Feng, back in the day when he was a young man in his early 20s, was apprenticing with a Qigong master called Hu, H-U, Hu, Master Hu. And one day, they would do this all the time. The students would go to the master's house. And very often in China, particularly in the old days, nobody had any money. There was no such thing as money, or very, very, very little money. So you didn't pay the master with money necessarily to get something done. What you paid him with was some effort. So you would go to his house and you would help him do things around the house. Put a new roof on, or paint the house, or do the garden, or just hang out, right? So they would go to his house, and one day they went to his house, and the old houses in Beijing were really compounds, and they would have a big wall around them and a gate in front, and the house was actually back a little bit. So they went there, and they understood that the master was not available, he was meditating. And so they waited out in the courtyard for a few minutes, and after a few minutes, they hear Master Hu's voice. Boys, come in and help me. I've been meditating too long, and my legs are all numb, and I can't get up. So these four young men, four big, strong young men, go in, and Master Hu was meditating on what's called an air-hot bed. In the old Chinese homes, there were these big beds. And they would be like a couch, is kind of a large couch in modern terms. And a lot of the sociality, including with strangers, not just the family, went from those beds. So the bed in the bedroom was a social space. So they go in. He's sitting in the middle of this big bed. Oh, boys, my legs are all numb. I can't get up. Help me, help me. And they go, oh, well, okay. They're four great big strong guys, They go up and they grab him and they can't move him. They're pulling at him, and Master Feng said what it was like was you would grab hold and you would begin to move him, and it was like he was stretching and stretching and stretching, and then suddenly he was going back down again. And finally, the old man said, oh, never mind, my legs aren't so numb anymore. I'll just get up on my own. And he did. And then he said, now, you are four big, strong, young men. You couldn't move an old man like me. What have you done wrong? And he said, you guys get out of here and think about it for a while. And so he tells a really funny story. They went outside and they kind of walked around. I haven't done anything wrong. Oh, yeah, you have. You're an arrogant son of a bitch, right? Yada, yada, yada. And they were all criticizing each other. But the point of the story, besides being funny, was they were still thinking that the martial arts and the Qigong arts is about physical strength. And physical strength is good, but what it's really about is conquering your energy body. And I'll tell you exactly what Master Hu was doing, because my own teacher did exactly the same thing to me. One time in class, he said, okay, I want to, he had like 40 students and they're all standing around, and he says, I want to show you guys something. He says, Malcolm, come up here, right? So, he was about this tall, maybe right under my nose. And he said, stand behind me and give me a bear hug, right? Now, lift me up. And I went, boom, right? And I lifted him up, very easy, right? Because I was at least probably 100 pounds bigger than him. He said, now I want you to try it again. And I give him a bear hug, and I start to, what I thought was lifting him, but it was like he became made of water. He just, I couldn't lift him. I tried really hard. I couldn't lift his feet off the ground. It was like he was made of silly putty or something. He just turned into water and went down. That's what they mean by relaxation. Having enough control, awareness and control of your energy body that you're not reliant only on your physical body. You also have your energy body to work. So when you do this, don't just do it with your physical body. Do it with your energy body. You go, well, I don't know what my energy body is. Yes, you do. Believe me, you've got one, right? Just relax. Now, feel inside. Feel the water inside and just let it drip down to your foot. Boom. That's the beginning of it. And then circle and boom. Do it again. So what they mean by relaxing, but the Chinese word for it is song. S-O-N-G, just like our word song. Song. Right? We translate it as relax, but that doesn't really quite identify what it is. It's a certain kind of relaxation. It's like inside, imagine that inside you're like a cloud, and you let the cloud turn into rain, and the rain falls down on the earth. That's what they mean. Inside, I'm like a cloud of energy. And now I'm letting it turn into rain, and it's raining down all the way to the ground, to the bottom of my foot. If you could begin to grab hold of that idea and follow that into a feeling in your body, you will have grasped the most important lesson in Qigong and in Tai Chi. It's not that you're ignoring the physical body, it's that you're adding something to the physical body. You're adding another capability. All right? And this is a perfect example. 1, continue the circle. 2, and now relax. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward Shinna. Reverse Shinna. Right? Elbow. I would have to have Kevin here to demonstrate this, but all right. Forward Shinna. Reverse Shinna at the neck. This side of the neck here. All right. Now I'm going to move my body from the weight from the left to the right, and because I've got my elbow up here at his neck, it's going to push him over to the side. And then I'm going to drop my elbow down, and his neck is going to get pushed down. To make it even more effective, this hand is going to grab his wrist here, and it's going to push him down. I'll show you what I mean. His neck would, this is his shoulder. There's his elbow, here's his wrist. I'm right up here like this. And I'm going to push and pull. Now, in order to do this, you have to keep your right leg strong. You don't want to go over too far. Now I'm out of balance. But you don't want to stay on the left either, because you need to use your body weight. So what that means is you have to come up to the place where you're balanced on the right leg, and then go down the leg. Down the leg. Right to the foot. All right, I'm lifting his arm. And you notice when I'm doing this, I'm not doing this. Right? It's my body that's doing it. My arm is an extension of my body. It's not separate from my body. It's an extension of my body. It's the body turn that's doing it, the weight shift. Forward chin up, reverse chin up. Set your elbow and throw. Now, watch my left toes here. This is a very small adjustment, but it makes a difference. All right? Forward chin up, reverse chin up, set your elbow, throw. The whole body turns. Sinks down to the foot. Okay. Now that I'm over here like this, I'm going to want to come back to the other side again. Throw. Smack him. And hit. Notice that my two knuckles are out like this. Generally, when you hit with Tai Chi, you don't use these knuckles here. You use these knuckles here. So it's much more like an arrow striking than like, John Wayne. Boom. Those two knuckles. And where do they go? They go right up into the soft spot of the temple. Boom. Now watch. This is the cover hand that they talk about. This is the cover hand punch. Cover hand, punch. So what is the cover hand about? If Kevin and I were messing around, right? So I've gone to punch him, but he's intercepted. So I haven't landed the punch. He's intercepted me. And now he's got hold of me. Right? So what I'm going to do is pull him in by this and then bring my other hand, boom, like that, to knock his hand off my hand. Now I'm hitting my own hand just to make a good noise, but what you would be hitting would be his hand or his wrist. Now this hand should technically be twisted in. Now comes the fun part. So you've knocked his hand off, right? And now comes the punch itself. Relax. You've got his evil twin brother is standing to this side. And his evil twin brother is, boom, going to smack you like that, a backhand. You intercept. Remember, his hand is coming in. It's already moving in this direction. You grab it and help it come across your chest. And that's easy to do if you move toward it and then just move your weight away. Um, so this is the guy's elbow here, right? And he's coming in across, right? You grab it and you pull his arm across right onto your own chest. And then you come up into your tangent. Right? You come up into this point here. Boom, big. Right? If you do that as you're twisting this, right, and the chest becomes the fulcrum, this is the lever, this becomes the fulcrum, and you can break the guy's arm with your chest. Boom. This hand, boom, then punches him in the nose. If he blocks that, then punch him in the balls. All right? If he blocks that, then boom, hit him in the ribs. So you've got 3 potential strikes. But for the form, you do the upper one. Watch this hand here. Watch the shape of this hand. Close, open, close, open, close, open, spiral, 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 spiral. It's not the muscles doing it, right? It's the structure of the body and it's the energy body doing it. Boom. And then the muscles just help that happen. Boom. But what you're training is the structure of the body and the movement of your chi. Catch his hand, pull it across, right? Come up and hit him in the nose. Spiral. Once you get the feel for all those, the spirals all spiral. One spiral moves into the next spiral, moves into the next spiral. There's no end to it. There's no beginning and ending of the spirals. Everything is just spirals. When you really can grab that, that's when the flow starts. What you really want to achieve in Tai Chi and in Qigong is the state of flow. All right? You want to become fluent. You want to become flowing. Well, that actually means something in particular. It means you're spiraling open. And now you're going to spiral closed. And then you're going to spiral open. And you're going to spiral closed. And you're going to spiral open. And you're going to spiral closed. And you're going to spiral open. And you're going to spiral closed. And you're going to spiral open, and you're going to spiral closed, and you're going to spiral open, and you're going to spiral closed. There's no place that it's broken. But it takes a while to get to that place because you got to learn all this stuff. You got to learn all this stuff, Miss Annie. Right? So this is, I really have always enjoyed this move a lot because it's, by this time you've learned enough that you can begin to kind of grasp what's going on with this stuff. And you can begin to feel open, close, open, close. Open, close, open, close, open, open, close, and so we would go on. It's just yin and yang, yin and yang, yin and yang, open and close, open and close, open and close. Is one way to look at it. There's other ways too, but all right. So that's just an introduction to this move. We'll have to practice more next Saturday. But we'll practice, and I think we'll be able to finish the first half of the form maybe next weekend. All right? Okay, guys. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see you next time. Ciao.